Welcome to episode 4 of the Gift of Failure FAQs. I had mentioned on social media that this video was late because I couldn't get it recorded due to various reasons. Those reasons are dogs. And so I have taken away all of the squeaky toys. I've taken away anything that they can rip up in a very loud fashion. And I'm just going to hope that they are well behaved. I got to interview writer Kristen Higgins recently, and she conducted the entire interview with her dogs in the room, and so I view that as a challenge. All right, so the question I'm going to answer today is this. Jess, you've told us now that all these things we're doing to motivate our kids don't work, but the school and society and culture tell us that what we're doing is supposed to work. So now I feel really dumb. Thanks. What do I do? Well, the answer is don't feel dumb, because it's not your fault that you're using all of the tools that society says are supposed to work for kids. The problem is we've set education up with flawed reward structure. So what do we do about that? Don't feel dumb, number one. Number two, get some information, and that's what I'm here to give you today. Okay, from the beginning, we have two kinds of ways to motivate people. Those things are, or ourselves, by the way, those things are extrinsic motivators that come from outside of us. Things like pay for grades, or short-term bonuses, or if you just get up a certain GPA, you can have this new iPhone. Or negative extrinsic motivators, and when I say positive or negative, I'm really talking about our perception of them. Negative extrinsic motivators can be things like if you don't keep up a certain grade point average, you're grounded, or I'm gonna keep an eye on you through this portal every week, every day, 10 times a day. I'm gonna log on and check to see what's going on. So don't you mess up. You turn all those things in and get those good grades. That's surveillance and control. The way that these extrinsic motivators work on us is this. They work really great in the short term. They work really well as a one-off. They work really well for a very short period of time. They actually work well if you're trying to get someone to do something that requires short-term focus, or get them to do something that's really simple and doesn't require a lot of planning. But if you want to get kids to do something that requires long-term focus, investment in the thing itself, simply for the sake of the thing itself, for the sake of learning, for the sake of becoming, for the sake of being a better human being, being a more well-rounded human being, extrinsic motivators don't work. I'm sorry. So sticker charts, they don't work. Pay for play doesn't work, not over the long term. Like I said, go check out Dan Pink's Drive. Go read Edward Deci's Why We Do What We Do, The Science of Self-Motivation. Go read the over 40 years of really good research we have on this, including the meta-studies that look at why the studies are good and why we know for a fact that this stuff doesn't work for humans. Okay, so if extrinsic motivators don't work, what do? Well, we need intrinsic motivation. Anyone who has experienced that moment where you're doing something and you're so wrapped up in it that time and space seems to fall away. That's being intrinsically motivated. That's flow. That's Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's Flow. It's on the bookshelf behind me somewhere. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's Flow. Read it. It's a great book. For every kid, it's going to be different. For my kids, it could be playing guitar or running or Minecraft or whatever. For me, it happens to be, cross-country skiing or writing or any of those other things I do, not because I'm trying to win a blue ribbon for them. I'm never going to win a cross-country skiing race. I just love doing it, and it engages my brain. It's just the right level of difficulty so that I'm fully in, and I achieve this state of flow where time and space falls away, and hours could go by, and I don't get bored, and I don't get tired, and I don't get hungry, and it's an amazing state. That's also where the best learning happens. In my classroom, I can see it when it happens. It's when people aren't looking around at the clock waiting for class to end, or the bell rings and nobody moves. And that's when really good learning happens. And I don't mess with that, frankly. I've been known to keep kids after the class, after the bell rings, simply because I don't want to mess with it. So how do we achieve that in kids? Well, here's the thing. In order to do that, in order to achieve intrinsic motivation, we need 3 things. This is Edward Deci. Thank you so much, Mr. Deci, Dr. Deci, Professor Deci. We need autonomy. We need to help kids feel competent, and we need to make them feel connected. I'll address all of these things separately in different videos, but essentially autonomy means that we have to give them some more control over their learning. We have to allow them to choose the means by which they learn things. If that means project-based learning, if that means more independence in class, if that means they direct more projects themselves, then that's what that means. There's a really great video, a documentary, by the way, called Most Likely to Succeed. It's about a school called High Tech High in California. The documentary was directed by Ted Dintersmith. It's based on a book by Ted Dintersmith and Tony Wagner. Highly recommend it. If you want to see what intrinsic motivation looks like in a school setting, go watch that DVD. It's fantastic. Or that, sorry, DVD. I'm old. Go watch that documentary. It's fantastic. Autonomy, control over the details of the tasks in your life. Competence, not the same thing as confidence. Competence means confidence based on actual experience. Trying something that's easy, then trying something that's harder, screwing it up, messing up, figuring out how to move forward once you've messed it up, and take forward the things with you that work and reject the things that don't. I've gotten to work on this fantastic TV show called The Stinky and Dirty Show on Amazon Kids. And this is a show for preschoolers about watching these, there's actually the behind me over there, that right there, sorry, reverse, that is dirty. Well, not really, my dad made it for me, but it's supposed to look like dirty. Stinky and dirty are machines that have to achieve a goal, have to do a task, and they have a child's way of looking at that task, and they come up with a completely ridiculous solution for how to do the task, and they try it and it doesn't work, and that's okay, because then they achieve some level of competence about what doesn't work. And that apocryphal thing that people think that Edward Einstein said about, learning 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. He didn't actually say that, but whatever. It's a nice apocryphal statement. You have to be able to take forward with you the things that work and leave behind the things that don't. And that's what Stinky and Dirty do. They go forward, they try things out. The things that don't work, they get rid of, and the things that do work, they carry forward with them. And that requires some intellectual bravery. That requires emotional bravery. That requires a community that's supportive of them in the mistakes that they make. That's hopefully what teachers create in really great classrooms. And giving kids that opportunity to feel competent, not just confident, not just, I think I can do this. Parents have told me that I'm brilliant, so I'm sure I can do this thing. That's confident, not competent. We need competent kids. We need kids who can try something easy, get feeling good about it, try something a little harder, not feel like that there's just no way that they could do it and flip out. We need kids who can say, okay, I tried that thing over there and got a couple things wrong and got a couple things right, and I'm going to take the things I got right forward with me. I think I can figure that out. That's competence. Connection, the third part of this triad that builds intrinsic motivation, is connection. For parents, it's really pretty simple. I say this when I go out to talk to parents a lot, and I hate to say it this bluntly, but it's really true. One, we have to love the children we have, not the children we wish we had. I know. And we have to not love them more based on their performance. And I know I say I would never in a million years do that, but think about how you react when they come home with a good grade versus a low grade. And just think about the signals we send to them about how much we love them based on their performance at school. I'll address that in another video sometime too. But as to the question of why this one parent felt really dumb for doing simply what the schools told her to do, the schools say, teach your kids to get good grades, help your kids get good grades, because good grades are all. Good grades are what will help your kid get into college. Well, grades are extrinsic motivators. Honors are extrinsic motivators. The honor roll is extrinsic motivator. Praise from teachers, praise from parents, love and all of these things are extrinsic motivators, and can we get around them completely? Absolutely not. I'm not an idiot, but we can try to focus more on the process than the product. We can try to focus more on the learning than the grade that might result from whatever efforts you put forth to get good grades in school. I'm not saying we have to throw away grades either. I do think that there's problems with our current grading system. I do think it's really hypocritical of some schools that are attempting to move toward supporting the whole child and yet still telling parents that grades are the be-all end-all. I think we really need a climate change. We need a change in how we I think grading A through F grades stink. I've written about that for The Atlantic. It's an article called Why Letter Grades Deserve an F. There are alternatives. I have written about that too in that article, Why Letter Grades Deserve an F. I wrote about a thing called standards-based grading that actually is based on is really focused on whether or not kids learn, not in exchange for a grade. So I guess we should feel a little bit bad about the fact that we're setting kids up to be less motivated to learn, less interested in learning, focused completely on the grades to the point of anxiety and obsession. We've created portals where parents and kids can, log in 10 times a day to see what their grades are. And then we tell them, no, don't focus on the grade, focus on the effort. Well, wow, what hypocrisy. I think that we should feel a little bit bad about that. I don't think we should feel dumb. I just should feel like, well, we made some mistakes. How can we do better? We made some mistakes. How can we do better? That's modeling for kids. That is modeling better behavior. That is modeling a positive adaptive response to mistakes. So how do we do better? Well, we take some of the focus off of grades. They're actually, and I know the other question I get is, yeah, but what about college? I hear you, I do. But in the meantime, I think what some parents have found and what some schools are now finding, that the less they emphasize, GPA out to the, 23rd place or class rank or grades, and focus more on the learning. And again, I will direct you back to Most Likely to Succeed, the documentary about High Tech High. I think when we really focus on the process of learning, that kids will learn more. That's also where intrinsic motivation happens. That's also where long-term investment in learning happens. That's where we create long-term learners. So to the mom that asked, or the parent, I'm not sure if it was a mom or a dad, to the mom or dad in Colorado who asked me this question about, I really feel stupid now that I've some of extrinsic motivators for my kid, and by the way, you're a teacher, so thanks so much. I'm sorry, I really am. I can only deal with the hand that I've been given, since I'm a teacher and not an administrator, and not in a position right now anyway to change the whole grade structure across the globe. All I can do is write about it and talk about it and bang away at the fact that letter grading is a flawed system, and the way our education system is a little bit screwed up and does cause kids to be focused and parents to be focused a little bit too much on the product and not the process. So to the Colorado mom, I'm really sorry. To all of you who were hoping there would be a video last week and there wasn't, I'm sorry. Those guys, I posted to social media that it's my dog's fault. I tried really hard to make a video this past week. I tried 7 times in one day to get a video out, and the dogs and tech actually thwarted me at every turn, and I apologize for that. I will try to be more on time with these videos. I do want to keep these coming out once a week. Thank you so much for watching. Each of the videos now has, over 50,000 views between YouTube and Grown and Flown. Thank you. Over at Grown and Flown, their Facebook page, the Grown and Flown Facebook page is where these videos also get posted, and I am indebted to them for that because they have an incredibly engaged following over there of parents. It's a wonderful space. And if you want to find out more, you can go to jessicaleahy.com. There very soon. I have finally gotten this Gift of Failure FAQ and book discussion group document. It's going to be a downloadable PDF. I've gotten that underway. It's in process right now. It's going to be something that you'll have access to. If you go to jessicaleahy.com and sign up, you'll get a note saying, a little email saying when it's ready, and it'll be a discussion group. So if you want to read The Gift of Failure at a school, if you want to read it as a professional development thing for if you're a teacher or an administrator, that Gift of Failure book group discussion guide will be ready really soon. I'm so excited. So go sign up. I'm at Twitter at Jess Leahy. I'm on Instagram at Teacher Leahy. And keep the questions coming. You can do that over at jessicaleahy.com. Keep the questions coming because I love doing these, even with the dogs making my life more difficult. I love doing these videos and I hope to keep them coming. So thank you so much for watching. And I'm sorry for what we've done to set up an education system that's running on flawed metrics. But I promise we're trying to do better. And I'm optimistic that it's changing. So I'll keep you posted on that. Squeaky toys. Fighting. Squeaky toys.